And hey, everybody, welcome in. You can get a few minutes to let everybody kind of trickle in now that the video is going live. It's going to be a 45-minute flow. We're going to move a bit, but not necessarily as vigorously as we have before. So if you're already joining us and you're ready to get started, go ahead and find a comfortable seat. If you want to have a block with you, feel free to have that block with you. Again, always your prerogative what you add or subtract from your practice. So if that includes extra support, if that includes less support, more movement than IQ or less movement than IQ, all those things are great. I want you to focus mostly on here is your breath and making this practice about you. So take a few minutes to settle in, grab a seat, get all of your belongings, your water, your tissues for cleaning your nose or maybe getting out some tears. Who knows? Our journey never set out. Take it as it is. We'll start in a few minutes. Glad you're here if you're here. If you're not, I'm sure you'll be soon. And I'm glad you're here when you get here. If you're still in your seat, check in with what this brings into your body sensations. So how does this actually make you feel? Focus on what's going on in your knee. I mean, we're still have a couple minutes before we start, but as you're preparing and if you're already seated, it's time to already find out what shape your body's in. Depends on what you did prior to this, how you slept, stretching or any strength training you've done in the days prior. All of that adds up to the sum of you in this moment. From there, you're in the driver's seat to decide what to change, what to give a little more attention to, maybe a little less attention. Oftentimes, those overly tight muscles are the ones that get the most attention. You're sitting, you're running, you're holding a steering wheel or a telephone, a cell phone, we use telephones anymore. Every action has a reaction, repeated action, or to make these grooves. Bring yourself to a certain position. Again, be curious about it. Again, if you're just joining us, you want to grab props, any prop that you want to take along with you, so that something to prop your seat up, block, blanket, towel. I've seen people use water bottles to get the ground a little closer. Don't give a strong water bottle. Do anything on something that's easily crushed or bent, but make it yours. Looks like we're about here at time, so go ahead and get started. If you're in a seat and you're digging that seat, go ahead and stay there, but we're going to start in Hug the Earth. So for Hug the Earth, come to lying on your belly. I teach a yin class. Well, typically I teach a yin class on Saturdays, and this is one of my favorite poses to either start or end class. We're going to start it class today. So from lying on your belly, bring your arms out to a T, and if you have limited space, you can make this goalpost or cactus arm shape with your arm. Let one cheek fall to the ground. It doesn't matter which one. kick your right heel to your glute, or rather, bring your right knee outside of your right hip. So it's flat in line. Now I want to take this to the other side so you can see. You want your knee in line with your hip bone, and then attempt to line your ankle up with your knee. You're starting on your right side. If you're starting on the left, all good. We're going to even it out either way. Once you've gotten this line, this bend of your leg, settle in. So notice, can you relax any squeezing in your glutes? Any tightness through your belly? Any pulling in your inner thigh? And then to add more, begin to press your left knee, or rather your right knee, down into the ground. So your bent leg, press it into the mat. Start to rotate that hip bone towards your mat. And then just for 4 rounds of breath, let your belly expand and contract. And see if you can allow either the tension that you have to hold there to lessen, or see if you can make a little bit more space. So even if it already feels good, see if you can make it feel a little bit better. 2 more rounds of breath. Bring your chin back to center. Straighten your legs out next to one another. Bend your legs and windshield wiper your heels left and right. Let go of tension in your low back. And then hug the earth to the other side. Whichever side you haven't already done, switch it. Knee in line with your hip, ankle in line with your knee. You can make that nice strong angle, and then settle into still. And this may take moving your knee a little further away from your body. In fact, if you have tight hip flexors, if you sit or run a lot, that may feel like you can't get any distance at first. Take a couple of deep breaths. Allow the softness and the calmness of your breath to relax your muscles. And then try to stretch a little further away. Move your knee towards the opposite edge of your mat. 2 more breaths here. Only when it feels even to you, bring your chin to center. Stretch your right leg out next to your left. Bring your heels up to the ceiling, and then windshield wiper them left and right. Lost out tension in your low back. Once you've gotten there, tuck your toes, press your hips up and back. We're going to take a seat on your toes, right-toe toes. So tuck all 10 toes underneath. And in fact, come to standing on your shins to start. And for this one, tuck all 10 toes. And notice when you try to tuck toes, your pinky doesn't want to show up for the part. Take your pinky toe, tuck it underneath. It's part of the group. It can't let go. There. Once you got it tucked, then start to sit your hips back towards your feet. Now this may feel intense to start, or it may feel like not much is happening. Either way, calmly breathe there. You're here for 5 full rounds of breath. Get your chest up. Relax your shoulders down. Check in with your breath. One more full round. Shift forward, hands and knees. Release your toes, and then tap the tops of your feet on the ground. Let some tension go. Bring some fresh blood back. From there, feet down dog. Your toes, press your hips up and back. To start up in your down dog, let's take a narrow down dog. So walk your feet forward, bend your legs, and then let your heels actually touch the mat. Bend your knees. You may step your feet out a little bit wider depending on hip width. Bend your knees, point your tailbone up, but draw your belly in. As you point your tailbone up, press through your hands. Try to get your hips a little higher. All right, attempting to maintain your heel to connection to the ground, step your left foot back 3 inches, and then your right foot back 3 inches. If your heels begin to get lifted, then that's fine. Stay there, take 4 rounds of breath. If your heels are connected to the ground, just as good. I want you to breathe there. And then start to decide Feels better to have your heels touching or lifted. We're going to take this 2 more times. Walk your feet back about 3 inches each. Try to connect your heel. Bend your knees to make your heels touch. 3 rounds of breath. Last round, walk your feet back as far back into your familiar down dog. If your heels are slightly lifted, that's okay. Attempt to touch them to the ground, even if your knees are bent. Bent knees are not anything to be ashamed about in yoga. Breath in, look forward, bend your knees a lot, maybe even hover them over the ground. And then exhale, take tiny steps forward, all the way to the top here. Once you're at the top, bend your knees, grab for opposite elbows, and then let your heavy arms lay down and stretch out your low back. Now get some firmness through your feet. So real quick, lift up all 10 toes. Press through the big toe mound of your right and left foot. And then also press through the pinky mound of your right and left foot. Even out the pressure between those two. And then can you start to lift your belly button in? Toes are still lifted. Try to lift your belly up and press more through your feet. And once you've gotten more of a lift of your hips, then let your 10 toes relax down, but keep that lift of your hips and notice what's resisting you here. Flood that area with 3 deep rounds of breath. For your last breath, try to reach your elbows further toward your feet. So physically lengthen out just by creating intention. Release your hands, bend your knees, slide up to standing slow, 1 vertebrae at a time. Head is the very last thing to come up. All right. Draw some circles with your shoulders. Take it one direction first. And then reverse your direction. Let that feel good. And come to a neutral mountain pose. Reach your hands out and up. For this one, bring your palms to touch. And with your palms touching, you're probably going to try to draw your shoulders closer to your ears. Work to keep palms touching. Pull your shoulders gently down away from your ears. So the outside of your shoulders pull down. And then draw your belly button up and in. Now keep that pulling down of your shoulders. Release your hands and extend them away from one another. Find a little open. Keep that shape through your top half so everything up top is engaged. On an inhale, lift your left knee up. So it's a one-legged mountain pose, supporting yourself with just your right leg. Left knee lifts up in line with your hip. 3 rounds of breath here. If you want to challenge your balance, lift all 5 toes of your right foot off the ground. Press through the big toe mound of your left, or your a big toe and pinky toe. 1 more breath in. And then on your exhale, low lunge. So with control, step your left foot to the back of your mat. Both hands touch the ground, and then lower your left knee down to the mat. If you want to double roll your mat so that you have more cushion for your knee, feel free to take that. It can also help to move your knee further back so you're above your knee instead of directly on top of your kneecap. Once you got that situated, reach your hands up above your head. That can also help to activate your legs more to support you. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Pull right thigh towards your left thigh forward towards your right thigh. If you have your block, get it handy. Take a breath here. On your exhale, half split. I love the block for this one. For half split, flex your right toes, lift it off the ground. Pull your right hip back and straighten your leg. And the block is great here because oftentimes to get a flat spine, the ground is just a little too far away and it's a little unstable to use your shin. You can, but it becomes a little unstable. So block is great because you can press the ground to flatten your spine. At the same time you're pulling your right hip back, keep your belly drawn and taut, and then pull your chest forward away from your hip. Act like every extra and different side of your body can pull in 2 opposite directions. Full round of breath. All right, let's take this miniature flow breath to move. So on an inhale, reach back up to kneeling crescent lunge, crescent moon. Exhale, half split. Option to float your hands this time. Use just the strength of your core to stretch out your right leg. Inhale back up to kneeling crescent moon. Exhale, half split. One more time, inhale, kneeling crescent. Exhale, half split. Inhale, kneeling crescent, reach up just to stretch. This time, low lunge, frame your right foot. Tuck your left toes, lift your knee, shift forward, and then into a standing split. Lift your left toes, balance yourself with your right leg. That same leg we started with to support, find it here. Flex your left toes down, but then press your right foot down to lengthen your hip. You notice as you start to bend your leg, your belly, and your hip bone gets a little closer toward your right thigh. Press your foot down, lift it up away, and then lengthen your chest forward. Taking a breath, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Step your left foot next to your right, fold over your left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, inhale to mountain pose. Stay for your breath. Exhale, hands down to your heart. All right, we're going to start that flow over on the other side. So shift your weight to your left foot. Inhale, one-legged mountain, lift your right knee up. You can get steady for a moment, flex your right toes, bring your knee in line with your hip. Option to lift your left toes off the ground, round into the ball mound of your foot, equally left and right side, and then let your toes relax back down. Taking a breath. One more big inhale. And then exhale, step it back to a low lunge. So bend your left leg with control, step your right foot back, both hands down, and then lower your right knee down. You can pat up the ground if you need with your mat. Inhale, reach up, kneeling crescent lunge. So again, activate front thigh to back thigh, pull. Inner thigh towards one another. Pull your right knee like you can drag it towards your left heel in front of you. Now notice your rib cage, is it flared out? Can you knit your floating ribs down and hold them in tight? And then try to lift your elbows up away from that tension to stretch. And all together, breathe in. Exhale, half split. Grab your block if you did before. You may need to walk either your left heel forward to get a little more space to stretch, or walk your right knee back. Just ensure here that your knee is either underneath your hip or behind it. If it's very much in front of it, you can start to put extra pressure on your kneecap. And you're going to take away any strain. Feel comfortable within these poses. 2 more rounds of breath. Again, belly up and tight. Pull your chest forward away from your hip. All right, inhale, shift forward back to your kneeling crescent lunge. Reach up. Exhale, half split. Inhale, back to kneeling crescent. Exhale, half split. Twice more. Inhale, kneeling crescent. Exhale, half split. Inhale, kneeling crescent. Exhale, half split. And inhale, kneeling crescent. Just to stretch back up. And then exhale, low lunge, both hands down. Untuck your mat if you rolled it. Lift your right heel off the ground, step forward, and then into your standing split. Right leg lift. Again, if you want to block here, it's a great way to get support. And the ground is a little further away, so you can physically lengthen your spine. You get long through your entire body. Squeeze your right glute, lift your heel, stretch your ears forward away from your shoulders. One more inhale, press the left foot down into the mat, lift your hips. Exhale, forward fold, right foot next to your left, and then fold over your leg. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. All right, inhale up to a mountain pose, get tall. Exhale, hands to your heart. A little different this time. Inhale, reach up to mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Shift forward, option to use your knees. We're going to take it right into chaturanga. If you want to slow it down a little bit and take cobra pose instead, by all means, go for it. Otherwise, shift forward, feel some resistance through your forearms, then bend your elbows lower halfway. Keep them tight by your wrists, flip to the tops of your feet, and then float your thighs. So even if you use your knees through chaturanga, lift them off the ground for up dog so that your low back can stretch without extra strain. Breathe in. Exhale, down dog, hips up and back. Full breath in. Full breath. All right. I like that. Let's take that again, shall we? Breath in, look forward. Exhale, step or float forward to the top of your mat. Try to land silently so your neighbors can't hear you. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain pose, get long and tall. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, one-legged mountain. Lift your left knee up with you. Exhale, low lunge. Step it back, a slow journey to low lunge. Lower your left knee. Inhale, kneeling crescent lunge. Reach up. Exhale, half split. We'll do that twice more. Inhale, back to kneeling crescent. Exhale, half split. One more time. Inhale, kneeling crescent. Exhale, half split. Inhale, kneeling crescent just to stretch. Exhale, low lunge. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee. Inhale, standing split. Lift your left leg. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Start it over. Inhale, mountain pose. Reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, one-legged mountain. Right leg lift. Exhale, low lunge with control. Long journey to step back. Lower your right knee. Inhale, kneeling crescent. Exhale, half split. Twice more through. Inhale, crescent. Exhale to your split. Inhale, kneeling crescent. Exhale, half split. Last time, inhale, kneeling crescent to stretch. Exhale, low lunge. Tuck your back toes. Inhale, standing split. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale up to a mountain pose. Get tall. Exhale, hands to your heart. Different this time. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, chaturanga. Step to plank. Shift forward, lower halfway. All on that breath out. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. Two more in. And out. One more, fill up. Let it go. All right. From here, step your feet about mat width distance. Let's add in a little bit of balance. So walk your hands back about 4 to 6 inches, not a whole lot. From there, lift your right foot off the ground, three-legged dog. Inhale. Bend your leg and then stack your hips. Now notice how much your right shoulder lifts. Lower it, or rather your left shoulder lowers. Pull it back in line with your right. Second option, you can stay here or walk your left hand back towards your left foot. Slow and controlled. You still got right hand and left foot on the ground. Try to lift your left fingertips off the ground. Second option, reach back and grab your foot. Make some contact. Press equally through both hands and your foot. Full round of breath. Gently release. Both hands down. Other side. Kick your left heel up, inhale. And then kick your heel to glute on your exhale. Option here, walk your right hand back. You can stay right where you are. Anywhere you start to get challenged, where you lose your breath, I want you to stay there with your breath. Second option, third option rather, float your right hand off the ground. Next option, grab your foot. Breathe deep, 2 breaths. Both hands down to the ground. Walk it back to your downward facing dog. Good. Breathe in. Look to the top of your mat. And your exhale, step or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale to chair pose. If you have a block, I'd recommend grabbing it. If you don't have a block, that's cool. We get to have pretend time. Use your imagination. So, bring a block in between your hands. If you don't have a block, pretend like it's there. So you're going to try to crush it. It's invisible though. Not going to crush. So there's power between your hands. This invisible force. Strong through your chair pose. Everyone together, take a breath in. On your exhale, twist towards the right. So bring your right elbow towards the back of your space. Keep squeezing your block. Squeeze your belly in. And notice, did your left knee pull out past your right? Pull it back. We're here for 2 breaths. Inhale back to center. Just as much pressure through your palm. Exhale, twist to the left. So same thing. Rotate back. Pull your right knee and right hip back. Squeeze your block or your imaginary block. Inhale back to chair with hands at your heart. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Twice more. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Last time, inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, chair pose, reach up. Exhale, forward, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. I'm not sure if we did an extra one there. Blacked out for a second. Hopefully we didn't. And if we did, I'm sure you rocked it. Set your block to the side. Inhale, halfway lift. On your exhale, chaturanga. Plant your hands either set or maybe float with control through your vinyasa. Take it to downward facing dog. Right before I took this class, I took Sean's Instagram Black Swan class, and I gotta say, good stuff. A lot of good shoulder cues. So if you're dealing with any shoulder issues, check out Sean. He knows what's up. From your downward facing dog, back to business. Lift your right leg high, breathe in. On your exhale, bend your legs, stack your hips. Try to kick yourself in the butt. Physically, squeeze in. And then check in with your shoulders. Level them out together. Press equally through both so your chest gets further back and your hips maybe get a little high. On an inhale, back to three-legged dog. On your exhale, right knee to your left tricep. So come through the middle and then swing over to your opposite sideline. Stay for a full round of breath. Press the ground away. Squeeze your left glute. Inhale, back to three-legged dog. Exhale, low lunge. Take your hands. Warrior one. Left heel down towards the mat. And then before you lift your hands, reach them back towards your back foot. And then notice this roundness through your spine, like a halfway lift. Can you find flatness through your spine away from your legs to start? Then inhale, warrior one. Virabhadrasana one. Rotate your thumbs out and your pinkies in towards your body. And then plug your shoulder blades down into their socket. Check in with your ribs here. This is a notorious rib opening posture. Rather, draw them down and in to resist the open. 2 rounds of breath. All right, inhale, reach up a little higher. Your exhale, back bend. Squeeze your elbows towards your ribs and lift your heart. I'm going with a straight arm back bend for the last week. So if you feel any pain in your low back, rather come back up to your warrior one. Keep your arms straight, then reach your thumb to the back of the room to get your back bend instead. Keep your belly drawn in. And then inhale back up to warrior one together. Exhale, hands down and flow. Step back to chaturanga. All the way to down dog. And if there's something to skip or take in between, make it yours. Take your left leg high. Breathe in. Exhale, bend your legs, stack your hips. Again, try to kick yourself in the butt. Check in with your shoulders. Lift your right shoulder up in line with your left. And now squeeze your heel. Press the ground away more. Sink deeper into your right heel. Inhale back to three-legged dog. Exhale, cross to your right tricep through the middle and then over. Other side. Full round of breath. Squeeze your right glute so it's turned on and supported. Inhale, three legs. Exhale, low lunge. Warrior one on the right. Right heel down. And before you lift your hands up, reach them towards your back foot. Stretch your chest forward, draw your shoulder blades down, then lock them into their socket. And then inhale, reach up, press through your left foot. Find what feels the same on this side, what feels similar and familiar. And then check in with what feels different. And what feels different may be immediate. It may be the strongest sensation you're feeling. Can you be calm, your best version of your best self in this moment with that sensation? One more breath in, and then exhale, back bend. Either bend your elbows and lift your heart, or keep your arms straight, lift your thumbs to the back of the room to get a back bend. Neither are wrong. Whatever feels best in your body, take it. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands down, step back to plank. Chaturanga, shift forward, lower halfway. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward dog. Breath in. Breath out. All right. You know what we haven't done? Donkey kicks. Do some donkey kicks. Shift forward, shoulders over your wrists. Bend your knees. The goal here is to get your feet off the ground just long enough to kick your own self in the butt. And maybe that's one at a time. Or maybe that's both at the same time. Or maybe when you kick yourself in the butt, you also stack your hips on top of your shoulders. If you have handstands in your practice, this can be where you start to take it to handstand. We're here for 5, For 4, 3, 2, last 1. Downward facing dog. Breath in, sigh it out. Good. Bend your knees, look forward. Inhale. Exhale, step or float forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Chair pose on an inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart, either with your block or with your imaginary block. Taking a breath. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Twice more. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. One more time, each side in. To the right. Inhale. To the left. Inhale, the chair pose, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, chaturanga. Your flow to down dog. Good. Breath in, lift your right leg high. Exhale, bend and stack your hips. Inhale, 3 legs. Exhale, cross to your left tricep. Try to touch it. Inhale, 3 legs. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale to warrior 1, reach up. Exhale, chaturanga, hands down, step back to plank and flow. Whew, a lot of movement. From down dog, left leg high, breathe in. Exhale, bend your leg and stack. Inhale, 3 legs. Exhale, cross to your right. Inhale, 3 legs. Exhale, low lunge. Warrior 1 on your inhale, reach up. Exhale, low lunge, step it back to high plank, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward dog. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, bend your knees, prepare. Exhale, step or float forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold, bend your knees. Inhale, chair pose and pause. Whew, here we are. I don't know if it's because I'm talking or if this flow has just got it, but I'm feeling it. Hope you are too. All right, taking into a prayer twist. This time, palms to touch. If you still got your block, by all means, keep it. Otherwise, twist towards the right on your exhale, and then bring your elbow to your knee, palm to palm. Keep your belly up and tight away from your leg. Pull your left hip bone back. Press into your palms to twist your belly all the way up to your shoulders. 2 rounds of breath. Inhale, chair. Exhale, prayer twist towards the left. Elbow to thigh. Belly up and in. Pull your right hip back. Lengthen your spine. Grow your ears away from your shoulders. 2 rounds of breath. Inhale, back to chair. Exhale, forward fold. Before we move on, gorilla pose. Step your feet wide as your hips. Slide your hands underneath your feet, or your palms are face up. Bend your knees a lot, let your belly touch your leg. Take a breath in, let your head get heavy and relax. And then exhale, pull your elbows to the side and pull your head down. Now breathe so much into your belly that it stretches your kidney band, your low back, just above your hip bones. Breathe in, fill it up. Hold it. Exhale, let it go. Twice more. Breathe in and hold. Send it out. 1 more in. Hold. And out. Release your hands. So lay your feet together wherever's comfortable. Inhale, halfway lift. Get long, lift your belly up. Exhale to flow. Chaturanga back to down dog. All right, I feel like we're sufficiently warmed up. Hope you are as well. Let's start a new flow. Lift your right leg high. Inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Just step it to your hands. Inhale to a warrior 1. Reach up. Good. Settle for your warrior 1. Okay. From your warrior 1, we're going to open it up into a warrior 2. So take a breath. Reach up. Exhale, warrior 2. Now widen out your stance. This should feel significantly different. Rather than your hips being closed, pointing forward, now your hips are open, pointing towards the left side of your mat. And then get real confident with the openness that you have and begin to push your heels and your knees in 2 different directions. Try to maybe open that up a little bit more. If you get resisted, that's good. Breathe with that resistance. We have 4 rounds of breath in this shape. And on your next breath in, reverse your warrior. Reach your right hand up. As you reach your right hand up, notice your shoulder reaching up as well. Pull it down. And rather than just trying to touch your shoulder to your ear, can you focus on lifting your torso up away from your legs instead? Press through your left hand to assist in that lift. Left inhale. Exhale, extended side angle. Reach a little bit longer. Bring your right hip back so you get a little bit more length through your left side and bring your right arm down. And then almost like you were in your hug the earth when we started class, press into your right leg so that you open up your chest as if your left side of your mat was a flat piece of ground. Rest your chest up on it. Now pull your head back away from that. And then option here to make this even more difficult or a little up level by lifting your right arm off of your right leg and then framing your ears for Utthita arm. Still flatten your chest against that invisible piece of flat earth on the side of your mat. One more breath. And then inhale, reverse. Strong through your core, strong through your legs. Exhale, hands down to the ground. If you want to flow, take your flow. If you want to skip it, skip it. One more side, left leg high, breathe in. And exhale, little lunge, step it through to your hand. Warrior one on your breath in. Take a second to let it settle. Again, this is your closed hip posture. Maybe take your hands to your hips. How closed are they? Are they still slightly open? Step your back foot forward and close them up a little bit more. Create this stark difference between one pose and the next pose. From your warrior one, take a breath in. Exhale, warrior two. Widen out your stance. And that can mean feet further apart. Your feet can be closer together as well. Just line up your front heel and your back arch. And then drive your feet apart. Drive your knees apart. Widen out your inner thighs, your hips, your chest. 4 breaths. All right, so we're going to take this one a little bit differently. Take your left hand to your left hip crease. Now on your inhale, reach your chest forward, but pull your left hip back. So you're pulling it underneath your body. Then reach your right arm up and take your left arm to your left. So you notice all of this length that's happening on your right side by pulling your left hip underneath you. Then open up your chest to the right side of your mat. Your chest bump this flat, invisible piece of earth. Then take it further by lifting your left arm off of your leg. Option to frame your ears for Utthita arms. You have 2 more rounds of breath. Powerful legs. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, chaturanga. Hands down and flow your way back to down dog. Breath in. Breath out. All right, from your down dog, without moving your hands from where they are, you're in your strong down dog shape, right? Lower just your right elbow down to the ground, like a half forearm plank, half dolphin, half down dog business. Spread your right palm flat. Press more into the L or that J shape of your thumb and your forefinger. Take a breath, and then exhale, press into your palm, so lift your right elbow. And then other side. Lower just your left elbow down to the ground. Flatten through your palm. Press through your right hand as well. And both are supporting you. Press back into your palm. Lift your left elbow. All right. Both arms at the same time. Slowly bend. Lower your forearms to the ground. Dolphin pose. Now you can walk your feet up a little further forward. If you're feeling any strain on your elbows, notice where your elbows are in line with your shoulders. Stack them directly underneath. And maybe even in a little bit closer than you think. The wider you go, the more less evenly distributed your weight will be. Get a nice strong stack. We've got 4 more rounds of breath here. If you want to lift a leg and lift the other, make this more dynamic. And if you want to hold static stillness, feel free. 2 more breaths. So onto your tiptoes, lower to your knees, shin, child pose. Whatever tension you just held in your shoulders, relax it. Walk your fingers forward, get long, breathe in. Exhale, sink it down. 5 rounds of breath. All right, from your child's pose, walk your hands back in towards your legs, into a seat on your shin. We're going to take this into rolling camel poses. So from your sitting on your shin, take your left hand behind your hips, so maybe about a foot, and then press into your shin so you lift your hips and you're supported on your left arm. Swing your right arm up and behind you, breathe in, and then exhale, relax it back down, and take that to your right side. Bring your right hand behind your hip, press into your shins, lift your hips, swing your left arm up, and then begin to make that into a move towards the left, inhale, towards the right, exhale, and then keep that going. That feels good, make it a little longer. If you want to stay within that pose for a breath or two, pressing down, lifting up your front line. Have that option. Just here for 5, and make that whatever 5 breaths means to you. Full round of breath, even out your side. And then shift forward to a tabletop. And then pitter patter your top of your feet on the ground, bring back some fresh blood. And then lift your feet off the ground, flex and point your feet, squeezing your toes. All right, let's take this into a pigeon pose. I'm sure it's what you've all been waiting for. From high plank, bring your right knee behind your right wrist, top of your right foot to the ground. And talked about this a couple times this week, but for your half pigeon, it doesn't mean that you have to have your right ankle up to your right or to your left wrist. It doesn't mean that your foot has to be flexed forward. You can actually point your toes to the back of your mat, so your shin and the top of your foot are flat. You can get a little more space that way. So if you ever feel any numbness happening in your feet or your legs, rather than flexing your foot, point it backwards. See if that makes a little more space. Find your version of half pigeon. That can mean on your elbows with your head relaxed down. That can be on your forearms. You can go all the way down to your chest. Allow your left hip to point towards the mat. Stretch your left toes back behind you, gain length. One more breath. From here, walk your hands back in towards your leg. Swing onto your right hip bone, just ever so softly. And then swing your left foot forward. We're taking it to John Yu Shirshasana. So right foot inside of the thigh of your left leg. Both sit bones on the ground. And reach up through center first. Again, make sure both sit bones stay down. Draw your belly down and in. Lift your elbows up. Take a breath. Rotate towards your left foot. And then exhale, fold towards your left foot. Now, as you stretch your chest forward, press your right knee behind you. As if it was touching a wall or something solid. Press it into that solid object so you lengthen a little further forward towards your front foot. Use that to stretch out your oblique. Maybe get your right rib a little further away from your right hip. Last breath. Come back up through center. We're going to take this a little differently. So take your left hand, grab your right knee. Get a strong connection. Maybe that means reach all the way up and over your knee. But something to where your left hand won't slip. From there, inhale, reach your right hand up. Again, both sit bones stay touching the ground. Press your right knee down into your left hand and then reach up and over towards your left foot. Keep your breath deep. If your breath starts to get shallow, lift up higher. Rotate your right chest back. 2 breaths. Back up through center, stargazer, right hand behind your hip, roll onto your right shin, and then lift your hips off the ground, take your left hand up. And you're opening up your chest by pressing everything that touches the ground down. Last breath in. Your exhale, slowly lower to the ground, swing your left foot back all the way to down dog, and if you want something in between, to feel openness through your right hip that you just took through pigeon and all those poses, take that movement, draw a circle, back, flip. And then other side, left leg high, breathe in. Exhale, half pigeon on the left. Same time to set up here. So if it took you 8 to 10 breaths to set up on the right side, take 8 to 10 breaths here. Every bit of your movement, your focus. And then add your breath to where your movement was. And then can you bring your focus to that as well? You got your legs set up, hands to the ground, elbows, forearms, forehead, chest, whatever you can touch to the ground. And the journey here depends on what you get out of practice, what you need out of practice. So if you have worked enough, say your muscles are exhausted, this is where you start to let go. But oftentimes this can be where you have to add a little more activation so that you can stretch those overly tight muscles. The MVPs that are self-proclaimed MVPs that decide they take all the work, give them that work, wear them out. You can't take any more of that work, release, breathe. Two more breaths here. Walk your hands towards your legs, roll onto your left hip. Swing your right foot forward, Janu Sirsasana. So inhale, reach up through center. Pivot to your right foot, fold over your right foot. I already feel the difference in length on this side. I have a lot more flexibility here. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to add any less tension. So pressing my left knee behind me, driving it into something imaginary but solid to lengthen further towards the right. Stretch out your left oblique. Get your floating ribs further away from your right or your left hip. 2 more breaths. Inhale up through seated. Take your right hand to your left knee. Get a good grip. Inhale, reach your left hand up. Press your hip bones down and then reach up and over towards the right. Press your left knee down into your right hand. Rotate your left shoulder back and over. Two breaths. Now up through seated, left hand down, stargazing. Roll to your left shin, press into your right foot, your left knee, and your left hand, and then lean your chest to your back into this invisible support behind you. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release down. If you want to take it back to down dog and draw some shapes, feel free. Otherwise, keep your legs out straight in front of you. Reach up both hands to the ceiling. Then exhale, feet and forward fold. And just as much, you're trying to stretch your oblique away, so get longer from your hips. And draw your belly up and in, lift, inhale. Exhale, pull your chest forward. Twice more like that, in and lengthen. Exhale, pull. Last time, inhale, lift. Exhale, release down. Let your arms fall by your side. Let your forehead round towards you. Inhale up to a seat. Control as slow as you can. Lower all the way down onto your back. If there's anything else that you need for class, feel like you didn't take it through those movements, feel free to take it. Otherwise, happy babies the last pose. You got your front line opening like we would in bridge with your stargazer. You got your twist. You got your fold. something else that your body's craving, take it. Otherwise, find your version of happy baby. What I've been noticing for my happy baby is that the further I get my knees away from my hips to start, that's where I actually find space, because that means my hip flexors aren't as turned on. Once you've gotten your knees stacked, then try to drive your heels up and then pull your knees toward your chest. You may feel a stretch more through your inner thighs rather than at your hip flexors. That's a good feeling. Breathe around with the breath. Satisfied with this happy baby, bring your knees back into your chest. Round your forehead up towards your knees. Take an inhale, belly in tight. And exhale, release. Shavasana. Stretch your left leg out long, let it fall out to the side. Stretch your right leg out long, let it fall to the side. Let your belly begin to relax. No need to control your inhales and exhales. Let your natural rhythm of breath take over. Shavasana. Free to stay as long as you would like. To begin to start waking your body, first start taking deeper breaths. And envision each breath that you bring in starts to fill up your body with this golden, warm energy of light. Cloud of orange, amber-colored smoke. Breathe in, fill up your body. And exhale, send it back out. Do that again. Inhale, fill up with this warmth. All the way to your toes, and then exhale, send it out. One more time. Inhale, feel your body glow. Exhale out. Start moving your fingers with all that warmth and awareness. Move your neck, your toes, your feet. Begin waking up with a sense of gratitude. Gratitude for your body, for the movement it's capable of, for its resiliency. Pull a knee into your chest when you're ready. Add a little compression, a little movement. And yogi's choice, either roll to your side, press the fetal pose for a moment, just as a transition. Wind yourself up to a seat. It's going to take a little longer to get there. All good. Once you're there, bring your hands to your heart, somewhere to support. Acknowledging there's a teacher and a student, there's light and there's love in one another. Honoring and recognizing that, we bow and share the word. Namaste. Thanks so much for sticking around, yogis. Okay, my name is Jeremy. If you enjoyed this, please let us know, like, subscribe. We have a teacher relief fund going right now. We don't have open studios and have no real way of making income. This is our source of income. So if you enjoyed it, please donate to our teacher relief fund, blackswanyoga.com/live. There's also a link underneath it on YouTube. So again, thank you so much. My name is Jeremy. Let's connect. Let's chat. Have a great day. Namaste.